What is up, my fellow weirdo fam? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Tawny Michelle, and basically I'm just another spiritual person, human that does tarot and astrology and other cool spiritual shit here on the internet. Welcome to the Aries new moon video. So in this video, we're going to talk about what is happening this week as usual and talk about what is going to happen with this Aries new moon and some of the themes that you may be feeling around this time. Probably going to do another video where I do the weekly readings, so definitely make sure you're looking out for that. And then I'm also in the process of filming a video for basically how to work with this crazy energy that we have going on right now and things that you can do during this time, at least the things that I've been doing, and you get to kind of see a little bit more into my day-to-day because I've had a lot of people request that they'd like to know a little bit more about me. Yeah, just see more chill videos. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into this video. Okay, so the first thing that I want to start by saying is that Saturn is now in Aquarius, like we talked about in the readings last week. Saturn is now in Aquarius. I've been talking about this for months in a lot of my other videos, and especially in my 2020 predictions video. So if you're more interested to figure out what that means for your sign, you can go and watch that video. But so it's really important right now because we're getting a little bit like a 3-month preview of what's to come, what Saturn is going to be doing in the sign of Aquarius for us in our individual lives and in the world in general. So Saturn just moved into Aquarius. So pay attention, you guys, pay attention right now. Aquarius is the sign of like revolutions, evolutions. It is the sign of individuality and freedom, social systems. So a lot of people get this confused because a lot of people will associate the signs with the houses. Now, that is easy to do when you're learning astrology. So I do recommend doing that if you're still learning what each of the houses mean. You just associate them with that sign. So for instance, Aquarius is the 11th sign. So you can somewhat associate Aquarius with the 11th house, but there are some differences. So a lot of people think Aquarius rules groups because the 11th house rules groups, but I don't know about you, but most Aquarians I know, it's not necessarily that they are always in groups or have to be around people all the time. No, they just have really different ideas for how the world should be ran and how systems should work and how government should work and if there should even be a government. And they are the sign of the rebel they get associated with. So what I think, what my version of Aquarius is, and I'm an Aquarius moon, so I feel like I can give some insight on this. And I've known a lot of Aquarians, I've dated a lot of Aquarians, so I get Aquarius for the most part. Aquarius is hard to kind of wrap your finger around all the way because they are highly individualistic and they are different, right? They have this otherworldly kind of mind. They just know things. So, and they're somewhat detached. So that's another big theme with Saturn and Aquarius. It's kind of this level of becoming a little bit more detached in order to see the bigger picture and what would work better for everyone. And to do that, we somewhat have to face ourselves. And that's what this Aries new moon is about, in my opinion, which we're going to get to. The reason that Aquarius rules individuality and can be associated with groups and society at times is because Aquarius doesn't give a flying fuck. Aquarius is individual. It is all about freedom. It is all about being itself. It is all about being different, unique. And by doing so, people flock to them, people follow them. Okay, so Bob Marley is a great example. I always use him as an example of Aquarius. So they're individual, and because they're so individual and so different, by being themselves, people flock to them. That is what Aquarius means to me personally. You're allowed to have your own opinions of Aquarius as well, but I'm just giving you an example. So Saturn in Aquarius is going to kind of possibly restrict some of our freedom, which is already happening right now, in order for us to change things, in order for us to become a little bit more detached from the mundane, the day-to-day, the traditional, what was, the past, because it's just moved out of Capricorn, which is all about the traditional and the structures. So Saturn in Aquarius is teaching us to be a little bit more detached, a little bit more on the outside in order to see the bigger picture and in order to basically change and renew our structures and our systems and our society and the way our society works and the way the environment and the world works, because Aquarius is the water bearer, right? So a lot of people think it's a water sign, but it's not. It's fixed air. But the sense of the water bearing, where the guy is pouring out the water is about serving humanity and society and the environment. So to me, Aquarius can also be associated with the environment and with environmental causes, which is why from restriction, Saturn of Aquarius, and even before when it was in Capricorn, from this restriction, we are seeing the environment thrive. We are seeing the earth basically renew itself and heal itself, which is a beautiful thing. Now, yes, this comes with some things because of the coronavirus. It's a scary thing. It's unknown. We don't know what it is, right? And so we don't know how to deal with it or how to cure it. And so that can bring fear to people. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that in my video about, you know, how you can deal with this energy at the time. So this is a time that is forcing us to sit and face our darkness and our fears, okay? And that is what this Aries new moon is about. You may find that during this week or even the next 2 weeks, because remember, the energy from the new moon and the full moon will carry until the next moon cycle, right? Until the next newer full moon. So the new moon's energy will carry until we get to the Libra full moon in April. So over the next couple weeks, especially this week when the energy is at its fullest, or even recently, even this past week, you might have came face to face with your patterns, with your fears, with who you really are. And this is an amazing question to ask yourself right now. Who am I? Because what does Aries rule? Aries is associated with I am. Aries is ruled by Mars. Aries is the warrior. It is the first sign of the zodiac. So we are now completing the astrological year and starting a whole new astrological year, because the astrological year starts with Aries, because Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. Aries is cardinal fire. Cardinal is the element of starting things, okay? And fire is the element of spirit. It is the element of willpower. It is the element of determination. It is also the element of purification. It can also be associated with anger. So we're going to be feeling a lot of fire. We're going to be feeling possibly intensity as well. You know, I also think of Aries as instinctual, the warrior, right? I associate Aries with the warrior. So we may be feeling some anger around this time, or seeing anger in other people in the world because they're scared. And it could be healthy or unhealthy. You know, healthy anger motivates us. It makes us determined to do something, and there can be a lot of determination around this time that comes up. Unhealthy anger can be Twitter, for example. I honestly think, in my opinion, that Twitter is literally the ugly side of humanity. And maybe it's just my timeline, but anytime I log on to that platform, I just did for the first time in forever yesterday, and I was just so disgusted and grossed out with the things I was seeing. It is just, everybody's angry. Everybody's projecting their anger onto other people. It's all political. People are digging at this person, blaming this person, acting like they're better than this person, acting holier than thou. And it's just like, ew. If you're fueling your anger in a way of determination and motivation, that can be healthy. But like I said, if it comes to an unhealthy side of it, then that is when we can lose ourselves, right? We lose our sense of self. We get caught up in ego. And so that's what you have to watch out for right now with this energy. And it's really important because this is really going to show us, I feel like there's a theme of finding ourselves in other people, having compassion. That is a huge theme right now, you guys. And if we can't have compassion for each other to get through this, then it's going to make it 10 times worse. So if someone makes you mad, or you start getting angry at people or a system or whatever, either find the healthy way of anger and let it motivate you to change something about yourself so that you can maybe make a ripple effect in the world, or find the similarities, find you in the other person or whatever it is that you're angry at, to figure out the seed of what is making you angry. And that can be a form of shadow work, which we're also going to talk about in my other video I have coming out soon. So stay tuned for that. So for any other astrology nerds out there like me, this new moon is happening at 4 degrees and 12 minutes of Aries, of the sign of Aries. So right in the very beginning of Aries. And what's interesting is this new moon is going to be conjunct Chiron, okay? And on top of that, black moon Lilith. Not only that, but it will also be squaring the nodes in the sky. So the Cancer North Node and the Capricorn South Node. So when I was just talking about compassion, it's important to remember that the North Node is still in Cancer, you guys. So we are learning, you know, and Cancer is the sign of the home, right? The shell, the crab, the shell. So we are learning how to go within our shell, how to be more comfortable within our shell instead of out in the world and building and worrying about business and how we can get to the top of the mountain. We are leaving the distractions of the normal 3D world behind, possibly for a very long time. I mean, this is going to create a huge change in the way that we do things. We haven't even seen all of the things that this is going to literally birth once it's all finished, in my opinion. So the Cancer North Node is still showing us it's time to have compassion. So with this new moon squaring the nodes, we are going to have to look at ourselves before we can continue on our journey. It is time to stop. It is time to be brave. It is time to find the strength, find the determination, find the fire within us to do something new and to do something different. This is a new moon in a cardinal sign, you guys. So this is like lighting up a new path for us, a new way for us, a new sense of strength and determination and bravery for us. This is igniting our spiritual warrior within. So whatever this new moon brings to the surface for you, it may hurt because the new moon is conjunct Chiron. Chiron is the asteroid that stands for the centaur that had a wound that would never heal. So it deals with our specific wounds, our perceived weaknesses, our perceived failings, our patterns in life, the patterns that we've done over and over again related to who we are, who we thought we were. And I feel like this is ripping the mask off for us. This is showing us how to be ourselves, and it's showing us how to be brave. And not only that, it's asking us the question, who are you really? Who have you been acting like? Where have you been putting your energy? And is it even you? Are you even aligned with your spirit right now? These are the questions and the themes that we're going to see coming up this week, in my opinion. And this new moon is bringing this up for us to address before we are able to move on. Aries lights that match because it's cardinal fire. So it's literally like, it's funny because I have an Aries lighter here. It's literally like this. This is Aries. So it's a match that's getting lit within us. It's a brand new match that is going to bring us closer to who we really are and farther from who we may have been pretending to be, or who we thought we were, or who we thought we had to be, or who we thought we were supposed to be, in order to heal this so we can move on. But first, we have to have the strength and the bravery to face it, because Aries is the warrior. Like I said, it's about strength, it's about bravery, okay? And like I said, Chiron is the asteroid of wounds, of healing, of patterns. So in order to heal this, we are going to have to face it. We are likely going to have to face a fear related to our identity, our perceived weaknesses, our flaws, our insecurities, who we are, our sense of self, our self-expression. We may feel non-useful, or we may feel like we don't have certain talents, or we don't have certain gifts, or we may feel our weaknesses being shown to us a little bit more than usual if you know how to look for it. Because sometimes with this energy, since Aries can rule anger, something may come up and you may get angry and immediately blame that person, right? Or think that it's someone else's fault and not look at yourself. So it's important to be conscious. It's important to be aware around this time what's being brought up into your face, because likely it's you, okay? I'm not saying everything's your fault. You need to like completely just take everything on, but just pay attention, because likely you will be shown who you really are, and you will be shown certain character defects about yourself that you don't like, in order to integrate them in order to make yourself more whole, in order to heal them. So questions you could ask yourself around this time: how are you individual? You know, how am I individual? Am I free to be who I really am? And what if not, then what's holding me back, and why? Why am I holding on to something that's causing me to feel suppressed, or to suppress who I really am? And really just ask yourself the question of, who am I? If this is being brought up for a reason, and all of this shit that's happening in the universe right now, it is all happening to get us realigned with our spirit, to get us realigned with who we really are. A consciousness shift is happening on a global level, you guys. Take this time and make it sacred, make it important. Focus on yourself. Really, truly ask yourself, who am I? Like, who am I? What makes me different? Because likely your perceived weaknesses are actually your biggest strengths. It's just a matter of perception. To be reminded of who we truly are, we have to see these perceived notions or illusions about ourselves, whether they're good or bad. We can integrate them. And this will show us our strength and break us free from these repeating cycles and patterns that we've been going through related to who we are or our identity. We've likely been living lives that weren't necessarily completely aligned with who we were, or weren't necessarily anything to do with who we truly are or what we truly want. Now, Black Moon Lilith is going to be right on top of this new moon as well, and Black Moon Lilith can represent mysteriousness, sexuality, darkness, our shadow side. It can represent taboos, our taboos, temptation, the occult, individuality, and rebellion as well. So we have a lot of individuality going on here with Saturn. Saturn's going to be squaring Uranus as soon as it steps into Aquarius, which, like I said, it just recently did. So now it's squaring Uranus and Taurus, okay? And Uranus is all about individuality and freedom. So we are getting free from old earthly ways of doing things, especially financial ways. But anyways, back to Black Moon Lilith. So, you know, she's also very provocative. She doesn't like to submit, right? And if you don't know that much about Lilith, she's in the Jewish Bible. She was Adam's first chick before Eve came along. She didn't want to submit to Adam. She wanted to be on top, so to say, and Adam was not cool with that. And so Adam basically went to God and tattletaled on her, and basically Lilith took off and was like, deuces, the Garden of Eden is too good for me anyway. She was just not going to submit. She was not going to be passive or to be the typical woman that Adam expected her to be. So then she was associated with the mother of demons, basically. She was called the mother of demons and yada, 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 which, I mean, kind of goes with a lot of what goes on today with women and feminine energy in general is, you know, when you don't submit or you say no or whatever, you basically get ousted and outcasted and are called a whore, what the hell ever, right? So with Black Moon Lilith here, this even brings more of a darkness to this new moon when it comes to bringing up our fears, bringing up our fears around who we are and who we thought we were, and really showing us the truth and the darkness. And so don't be afraid to look at your darkness in the face. Don't be afraid to truly admit when you're wrong or own your darkness. You know what I mean? That is what makes us heal. It is not like good vibes only, love and light only. Like, no. Accepting our darkness and accepting us for who we are is what makes us most powerful. That is what unlocks us. That is what shifts our consciousness. That is how we heal. That is how we truly, truly enlighten the fuck up. Not by ignoring it, suppressing it, fighting it, all of that shit. That is so not anything to do with healing, at least in my experience. Anytime that I've needed to heal from something or that I have healed from something, I've always had to face it. I've always had to face it head on. It wasn't a fight. It wasn't like, you know what I mean? I had been fighting it at points. I had been trying to escape it, suppress it, ignore it, you know, get rid of it, fight it. Those are all forms of fighting. And I just made myself even more miserable. And the darkness overcame me because I couldn't fight it, right? Until I accepted it. And I took the darkness and I let it nurture me. And then I truly was able to heal. I was truly able to accept these parts of myself that I tried to escape from for so long, instead of like constantly fighting it, making myself more and more miserable and my life falling to shit. So another thing that is happening is Mars, Jupiter, and Pluto are all very close, almost conjunct in the sign of Capricorn, okay? So this is big, and we may see even more because Mars rules Aries. This new moon is happening in Aries. Mars rules conflict, war, and courage, and masculine energy, and dominance, and drive, and ambition, and determination, all of those fiery masculine things. Because Mars is here with Jupiter and Pluto in the sign of Capricorn, this could definitely have something to do with the military or the martial law, or at least there could be some scares, or there could be some changes in the laws, the system, money, which I mean there already is, because Jupiter rules wealth and the laws and spiritual understanding. It rules business, it can rule authorities, travel. As it's getting closer to Pluto, Pluto is the planet of transformation, destruction, rebirth, power, those in power. So we are going to see a massive shift, you know, starting soon. Like we've already started kind of seeing it, but even more so when it comes to those in power, when it comes to the structures and the systems and the foundations in place of those in power. Pluto also can rule fear and selfishness and greed and jealousy and revenge and you know, obsession, right? And influence. And so with Jupiter there, it's going to expand Pluto's power, okay? And so it's really important to know how to work with this energy. Good thing we have Saturn in Aquarius now, which is going to force a level of detachment. So it's important right now to let yourself somewhat detach and look at the bigger picture, okay? And really truly look at it in a different light, which I'm going to show a little bit more how to do in my next video, like I keep saying. So also, you know, Jupiter can be our morals and our ethics as well. And with Mars here as well, there's going to be a lot of drive to change things, a lot of ambition to want to change things, to want to change and transform the power in our world and the systems in our world and the influence in our world and the laws and the influence of our world, which we already kind of have been seeing the footwork for. So yeah, these planets together will change the way our world is ran, possibly forever. And what's also interesting is we have the asteroid Pallas Athena really in the mix of all of this in Capricorn as well, which she's the asteroid of strategy and wisdom, knowledge. She used to basically, you know, make strategies for those that were in war and mythology. She's like under Jupiter, right? And so I think she was actually Jupiter's daughter. My mythology is not like, I'm not a professional mythologer, if that's even a word, but I do know some about it. So, but basically Pallas Athena, she was super, super strategic. But at the same time, I've actually heard someone say before that Pallas Athena believed that if you were smart enough, you should never have to go to war. So I think it's very awesome that Pallas Athena is with these planets because this is creating a new strategy. This is going to create a new strategy and give a sense of higher wisdom, especially with Jupiter there as well, in order to do something, maybe not right away, but do something eventually that's going to be a little bit more strategic and come from a place of higher knowledge for the world or for the country. So whatever is started now is very important because of Saturn in Aquarius and also Mars going over Jupiter and Pluto. Jupiter and Pluto are getting very close to being conjunct. They will conjunct in a couple weeks, and that will be one of 3 conjunctions happening this year. So whatever is started in the next few weeks is going to be kind of carried out. Okay, we're not going to see the end of it right away. It's kind of just going to be the start. So yeah, that is what is going on this week with the Aries new moon. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Definitely let me know how your week goes and what you're feeling, and if you've related to any of this yet or already. I'd love to hear what you guys think and have to say, and if it resonates with any of your guys' lives at the moment. So yeah, I love you guys, and I will see you guys in my next videos. Bye.